my presentation. You know, back-to-back meetings is always fun. Well, while I'm doing this, I'll introduce myself. I'm Dr. Staci Saner. I run the Health Professions Education graduate programs out of the School of Medicine at University of Louisville. And I'm going to talk a little bit about our HPE program and what we have. Excuse me. And we are a small group, so at any time, if you want to ask a question or, um, you know, feel free to unmute or whatever works for you. You can type in the chat, hopefully, and I'm going to go ahead and get started. So our HPE program has been in place for many, many years, but in 2017, I began to, um, I came to the School of Medicine in 2016, and in 2017, I started revamping our program in HPE. It was in the College of Education. It was um, not very useful. It was very esoteric, very theoretical. And I'm like, I don't even want to learn this stuff. So, what I have done is completely revamped our HPE program. It is 100% online, asynchronous, and we make sure everything is HPE specific. So we're dealing with teaching in both the clinical learning environment and in the environment classroom or small group or PBL, TBL, any of those things. So I like to run through the goals of our HPE program. So the first goal is to develop educational leaders. Having background knowledge and education is really important for professionals that are teaching in the health professions. And in addition, I like to point out that a lot of health professionals have spent a long time developing their provider um, identity and not as much time working on their educator identity. And so that is one of the things that we try to work on. We want to provide the academic healthcare institution with highly qualified educators. That is important. And then serve the discipline of HPE. So HPE is a very rich place for research and scholarship. And lots of things that can be done in this arena. Now, our program, our masters, we have 6 competencies. And so I'm going to run through those 6 competencies so you have an idea of what we are trying to achieve. Our competencies, if you think about it as this is what we want you to be able to do when you finish the degree. So the first one is we want you to be able to create learning and development opportunities that are research-based, informed by educational theory and learning science. And we want you to be able to do that in both the didactic and the clinical environment. The second competency is really around giving you the opportunity to assess and evaluate research and use that assessment to inform your practice. So you can look up what's the best way to teach whatever, and how do you assess that research? How do you evaluate? And then make sure it's going to work in your particular situation. And then, of course, a huge component of education is assessment and evaluation of your learners. So kind of goes in 2 very important parts. Our third competency I mentioned briefly earlier is about promoting your educator identity and how important that is for educators. Our fourth competency is around utilizing evidence-based learning science and teaching strategies. We want you to be able to engage all your learners. We want all your learners to be successful, and we want you to create what we call these safe learning opportunities or a safe learning environment. The fifth competency is about scholarly skills. I did mention in competency two, we want you to be able to evaluate and assess research. But I also want you to have some of the skills in order to do that type of research and be able to influence the direction of the institution with your background knowledge. And then our sixth competency is really around that leadership aspect. We want you to be able to influence and educate across multiple different foundations, whether it's across multiple departments, multiple units. We want you to have the knowledge and skills to make an impact to improve the educational system of wherever you happen to be. So people always ask, what's special about your program? Well, I got a couple of things I like to talk about. I have clinicians with education degrees. I have a surgeon. I have pediatrician. I have some dentists. I have let's see, emergency medicine. I've got, child life therapists. So I have lots of different types in dental hygienists. So I have lots of different types of folks, different types of clinicians with their educational credentials and highly qualified to teach in our program. The other thing I'd like to bring up is our 8-week asynchronous courses. So there is one caveat. There is one course that is not 8 weeks, and we'll get to that in a moment, but the rest of the courses are 8 weeks and asynchronous. So most courses do not have a face-to-face virtual meeting such as this. A lot of them do have optional online course sessions, but those are always recorded and always available in the learning management system, so you can watch them, excuse me, if you're not available at the time that it takes place. But in addition, lots of our faculty bring their learners in for small group discussions or one-on-one discussions. So those will take place, but that is not every class, and they will be scheduled around your availability. We care about impacting the next generation of providers. We do some really hard work looking at all our assignments, assessments, activities, the readings we ask you to read. We look at everything on a very regular basis, and we try to make sure that everything is impactful information and you're getting the biggest bang for your buck. We want you to be able to do what you need to do as a professional and also be able to get the knowledge and skills you need to be an effective educator. And then the concentration of our program is on teaching. There's lots of other HPE programs around. Some of them the concentration is on the research side, but ours is definitely on the teaching part. So we do have two programs. We have a graduate certificate and we have a master's degree. So I'm going to walk through the certificate first. And the reason why I do that, the 4 courses that are in the certificate also can roll into the master's degree. So the 4 courses, and these are just technically in numeric order. The first one is evaluation and assessment. And so this is where you would learn the skills to evaluate and assess research and evaluate and assess learners or your program or anything else that you need to assess and make sure you're getting the impact that you need. 665 is teaching and learning. It really should be called Learning Science 101. So it's an opportunity to learn about basic educational theories, learning science, cognitive science, how learning works, right? What can we do as educators to help our learners take away the knowledge and skills that they need, and to be able to hang on to that, and not just like cram for an assessment and then watch it fly out of their head. We want them to keep their knowledge and skills past their board exams, right? We want them to be successful providers. Program development, this is how you develop a course, or a program, or a residency, or a residency program, or whatever else you happen to be trying to develop. There is some evidence-based ways to go about that process. And so program development will walk you through that process as you work on creating something new that you would want to teach in the future. And then the last one here is instructional strategies. And so instructional strategies in HPE is completely around how to teach stuff, right? And so 1,001 ways to teach something. Definitely, I could come up with 1,001 ways to teach something, but in reality, you need to be able, the instructor needs to look at, okay, what is the content I'm trying to get across, or skill, because a lot of times we're looking at knowledge, skills, or behaviors. How do I need the learner to take that information, and what do I need the learner to do with that information? And you evaluate that, and then you can come up with some strategies that would work for that particular type of information. Now, is this happening in a clinical setting where maybe you're rounding in the hospital? Or is this happening in a classroom setting or a small group setting? And so those things have to then be taken into account to figure out what's the best way to get these knowledge, skills, or behaviors across to your learners. So 4 classes, they're 3 credit hours each. Those 4 classes make up the graduate certificate. And as I said, these 4 courses also roll into our master's degree, and it's an MS in Health Professions Education. Now, the MS is a 33 credit hour non-thesis degree. It just because it says non-thesis doesn't mean there's not a major project at the end. There is a major project at the end, and we generally call it the professional project, and this occurs during the last course while you're in the program. This is that one course that is a 16-week full semester course. This is the only course that is not an 8-week abbreviated class. It will last the entire semester because you need that much time in order to do some research or, conduct needs assessments and all kinds of things that you would need to do to create this professional project. And in the end, the expectation is you will do a professional presentation and write up just like an executive summary. It's not huge. It's not a dissertation. It's not a thesis. But there's obviously significant work involved in that. I also like to point out all our courses are HPE specific. There are lots of programs out there that have their programs in colleges of education or other places where sometimes you're just taking generic higher ed classes or education in generic sense. All ours are coming to you with the caveat of what do we do in a clinical setting? So the master's, those 4 certificate courses that I just talked about. So there was teaching and learning, evidence-based practice, program development, and instructional strategies. So those 4 classes, plus the following, we have educational leadership. That course is that that leadership aspect. How do you lead across educational environment? Oh, here's evidence-based practice. I got confused because the other one is assessment and evaluation. So 650 is the one that you would take as part of the certificate. That's assessment and evaluation. And then the one evidence-based practice, 685, that course really introduces you to the idea of research in educational settings and how different that can be from like your basic science or clinical trials or whatever it is you may do research in. And then there's that professional project we just talked about. So the 4 certificate courses, those 3 courses, that doesn't quite add up to 33 credit hours yet, but we do have electives. And so you'll be required to take 4 electives. I've only got a couple of examples here, but we do have more. We have an entire course on feedback. We have an entire course on interprofessional education, well-being, and that well-being is not just you, but you and your learners. We also have programming, qualitative statistics if you would like to do more work in the educational research arena. We also have simulation. Simulation is an incredibly important component of health professions education. And so there are lots of other electives. And so I've just got a few listed there. If you are interested and want to apply, our application process is relatively as simple as it can be in an accredited institution. And so there's the graduate application, which is completed through the UofL Graduate School. We require 1 letter of recommendation, a personal statement. And so your personal statement would be, why do you want to do this? What do you want to achieve in your career? Something along those lines. Don't make it too long. Don't go over 2 pages, but something around 1.5 pages is absolutely perfect for the personal statement. There is an application fee of $65 US, and then we do have to have all official transcripts on file. So the graduate school requires us to have your undergraduate, if you've got a terminal degree or you have another master's degree or whatever degrees you happen to have, they want all your transcripts. And so that's really something that probably most people have to jump through hoops to get done. But in the end, I think it's worth it. So application deadlines, you can see August is coming up. Oh, whoa, that's tomorrow. But you can see that that would be for fall 1. So maybe you wanted, because our courses are 8 weeks, we do have multiple start dates during the year. So there's fall 1, fall 2, spring 1, and spring 2. And then we have the summer semester. And so maybe you want to start in the fall 2, which the courses get started in October. You could go through the application process before September 10th to be able to start at that October start date. Otherwise, I would look towards beginning in January. And we only do offer 1 summer semester course period. We don't have multiple summer sessions in HPE. You will also notice that the certificate application deadline is a little bit different. So if you're thinking, oh, I just want to do the certificate, please keep in mind there are no certificate courses available during the summer sessions. So all certificate courses are only available during fall and spring semesters. All right, so what is some key information people always like to know about? Graduate tuition is $830 per credit hour, and then there is active duty. For our active duty service members, it's $250 per credit hour, which is a fantastic opportunity. We have those 8-week asynchronous courses, which helps people get through the program pretty quickly. And It can all be completed in about 2 years and a semester if you're just taking one course each 8 weeks, and then the final capstone at the end. And that will get you about 2 years and one semester. So that leads us to this handy dandy page. So this is myself. Uh, and my colleague, Jamise Harris, she handles all the admissions. So I'm going to stop talking now and see if there are any questions, um, what I can do to answer them.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good
Um,
afternoon.
I had a question. So I have a master's already,
Yeah,
and I currently am an adjunct professor at an online school. So I was looking into the certificate,
yeah.
but um I was wondering like what's more beneficial? Would it be beneficial to just complete the whole master's or just get the certificate, or is it just your preference?
Well, it really depends on what you want to accomplish and what you are doing. Um, so, uh, since you already have a master's and that's generally what is needed to be able to teach in higher ed, and you are going to be working in, dental hygiene or something, then the certificate would provide you with some basic information to begin to help you be a more awesome educator. Um, Obviously, the full master's would just be in a lot more content and make you more well-rounded. But once again, that's entirely up to you and your circumstances.
Okay. And with the pricing per credit, so it says it's 830. So would it be 830 times 4 if you do the certificate? Or
No, each class is 3 credit hours. So it's 830 times 3 for each per class. So it would be that times 4. So Janice is typing in the chat. She can help us out. And she says it would be about 24.90 per course.
okay. Per like okay.
Yeah, it's
So
830 per.
24.90 each course times 4 because you have to take 4 different courses.
Correct, correct.
Okay, understood.
There you go.
Okay. I mean, I started the application process. It's just like you said, the tedious part is to get the
Transcript.
transcripts.
Oh, I
Yeah.
know. It's no fun.
But they have an easier process where you just go in and they have it email it to whatever email address you guys have online. So they'll email it directly to whatever.
Oh,
So the
good.
process has become a little bit easier.
Over the years since we have technology now. Love it.
Yes.
Are there any other questions I can answer at this time?
No question. Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Saner.
You're very welcome. Well, I will, my email, my phone number for both myself and Janice are on the screen, and you are more than welcome to reach out to either of us or one of us, and we can answer additional questions you may have. And look forward to working with you in the future. I believe Janice will probably follow up this with some additional information and help you make your decisions. But I'm happy to stay here if anyone has any more questions. Otherwise, this is um, the final official part of the presentation.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. Have a good evening.
You too.
All right, Jamise, thank you much.
You're welcome. I talked to that guy, the one that was the what was it? The one that we said was looking for the nurse as I
Oh,
cannot say that word.
nurse anesthetist. I know.
Yes. But he left a voicemail, so I called him back, and he still may be interested in doing our certificate. So
Huh.
he was pretty confused about who to get in contact with. So I was trying to find somebody over in that department, and I'll give them that information, and then on ours if he wants to do our certificate.
That is weird. All right.
Yep.
I know the PD for the nurse anesthetist program.
Hmm.
We did a podcast with her. I'm trying to remember her name. Oh, Cheryl Parker. That is
Cheryl Parker.
Cheryl Parker
Okay.
in the nursing school. Yeah. So
Cool.
yeah,
Yeah, because
that
he
would be.
couldn't get in contact with anyone. He just did the generic number that was on the nursing school page. So,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah, he needs a real person.
exactly. Okay,
All
cool. Yeah,
right.
thanks a lot.
Well, thanks. Thanks for helping him out. Appreciate
No
that.
problem.
All right, you doing all right?